everyone, I'm Benita Story, also known as the Fiber Pusher. I am going to show you a project that I have wanted to do for a long time, and that is spinning pill bottle cotton. Now, I did some research online and I found out that not all cotton put in pill bottles is cotton. Some of it's ramie, some of it's polyester. So I took what I had and I did a burn test, and it just so happens everything that I have is either cotton, I'm 90% sure, or ramie. And the thing is the burn tests are so similar between the two. I had one that I thought was polyester because it's kind of got a squeaky feel to it, but when I did the burn test on it, it turned out to be absolutely cotton. In fact, I'll put some of the video of me burning or doing the burn test in here. Now, I wanted to show you the three basic types that I have been getting out of pill bottles, and I'm going to show you the difference between them, and then I'll show you the difference in how they're spinning. So one of the first ones that I have been using it's this, and if you look at it, it is really got a lot of nets and lint and everything in it, and it's just, it doesn't look very smooth. I mean, it's funny because it almost looks like it has been combed into a top, but it's like, I mean, look at all of those little lint nips and stuff in there. And I will say that as soft as this is, it's harder to spin with all of those lint nips in it, and I'll show you that here in a second. The second type I want to show you is, it's a longer staple, and by the way, the staple on this is just really, 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 really short. I mean, look at that. That's just really short. I wonder if this is a byproduct of the cotton industry where they have taken as much as they can off of the seed bowl, and this is the lint that's left over just to use it for something. So anyways, I think that's what this is, and I think that's why this is so full of neps. Okay, the second one, the second type is nicer. It's got a nice longer staple, and see how nice and long that staple is compared to the other one. And also, if you look at the prep, yes, there's still a few neps here and there, but it's just a lot nicer prep. They didn't do the processes to the point where it was torn up or anything. This is actually really, really nice, and it's softer than the other kind, and I think it's because it doesn't have those nuts and everything in it. But if you look at it, it's definitely combed, so it's definitely a type of sliver, but it's just so soft. And this one here is medium on how to spin and everything, and I'll show you that here in a second. The third type is this. Look at this. This came out of one pill bottle, and it is nice. Now, this is the stuff that I told you felt a little squeaky, and I think it's just because it's really, really fine. This could be the ramie. I don't know. Like I said, the burn tests are so similar that it's hard to tell. But it did burn. It burned very quickly. It had the orange afterglow. It smelled like paper burning, and it had a white ash, which is kind of the description for both cotton and ramie. So, but this is the one that I thought was polyester. And like I said, it's a huge piece, and I think I know which of my medicines this came out of. I think this is one of my over-the-counters. I think it's my CBD oil that I take for pain management and everything. But look at that big piece, and it's absolutely lovely. If you look here, it's actually got a bit of a shine to it, which is another reason why I thought it might be polyester. But it's got a nice shine to it, but it is so beautiful. Look at that. Instead of being all clumped together like the other one, it's just beautiful, and it's so nice. And look at the staple length on this compared to the others. I mean, it has a really nice, this is really nice cotton, and so this spins like an absolute dream. So let me show you how I spin them. And mind you, I am not a very experienced cotton spinner. I know you're supposed to spin cotton so that the twist goes up into the fiber. I'm not good enough to get a consistent thread that way. So I'm not even going to attempt it here. I have spun cotton on a drop spindle, and I'm actually able to do that better with a drop spindle. I have a tackly, but I'm doing this with my wheel, and so I'm just going to just do it with the wheel and use a short forward draw just like I normally do, because I'm comfortable with it, and it's not like I'm doing this to learn a new technique. I'm learning this to use something that would normally be thrown away and get a project out of it that's something that's usable. I mean, you think about this. This is normally something that people take out of their pill bottles and absolutely just toss in the trash. And for me, I was thinking about that and thinking, yeah, one of the R's for the recycling is reuse. There's reuse. I think it's reuse, repurpose, recycle. And I think recycle is what they consider is like the last thing you want to try to do. So I guess in a way I'm repurposing this, but I'm also reusing this into a different thing. I mean, it went from being fluff in a bottle to yarn. And so this is what I've been working with. But as you can see, it is really full of lint. So let me show you how not fun this is to spin. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got this big piece here and everything, and to me it's hard to spin. I'm actually going to just pull off a small piece. For one thing, it kind of opens it up just a little bit, and then you've got these really sharp cut ends that I'm just going to fluff a little bit. I mean, look at that. It's just turning into just a mess. So anyways, I'm going to try to show you how I spin this, and like I said, this is the least fun stuff to spin. By the way, binder clips, handiest things on the planet. I do love me binder clips. Sandy and I actually used to use binder clips, the meaty ones and the large ones, in our dyed-in-the-wool booth. We held everything together with them. We held our display units with them. Everything was used with binder clips. It was wonderful. So I'm going to back this off. Now see this smooth part here? This is done with the what I call really good, nice sliver. So you see how nice and smooth that is. So, and look at the difference here. So this is going to be, I'm going to join this on just as carefully as I can. And I'm slowing down my spinning. And you can already tell, because all those little nets and stuff in there, this is not a smooth spin at all. In fact, this is probably the most frustrating stuff I've spun ever. And I've spun things, really short fibers like yak and stuff like that, which I don't enjoy. But as you can tell, there is no smoothness on this here. I could try to work that in just a little bit, but because of all of those nets, you do not get an even, smooth, consistent yarn. There's just absolutely no way. I mean, even doing the best I possibly can and trying to pull and smooth some of this out, you're still going to get those bumps. So I'm going to spin the rest of this little piece, and then we will apply it back on itself so you can kind of get an idea of what this yarn would look like. Now if you want a textured yarn, boy, this is the stuff to do, but I want to tell you, this is probably the hardest way to get a textured yarn I've ever spun. And it's really hard to get consistent because of all of those little lint nips. And I'm not turning the wheel very fast because it's really easy for this to get away from me and just go onto the wheel, and I have to go and pull it back out and redo everything. But it's not the most fun thread or yarn I have ever spun in the world, that's for sure. And like I said, look, there is no consistency on that, and there's just no way I can spin fast with this. It's horrid stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. But I like a challenge, and I want this project, the finished product, really, really bad. So I'm giving it a try. But like I said, there's no spinning consistency with this. It's just really nasty, horrid, linty, neppy stuff. And believe it or not, there's veg in this. So this is obviously some from the cotton plant. I'm pretty sure this is just left over from taking the good stuff off the bowl, because it's really not nice stuff. And okay, we're down to the end. So now I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to apply it back on itself and just show you that it's not all that nice. Now, mind you, considering I'm wanting to knit this into a face cloth when it's done, I guess we could say that those little nubs and nips and everything could be good for scrubbing my skin and getting off the dead skin and everything, and being kind of a cotton loofah, if you will. So that's that one. So let's get the little bit nicer one here. So this is the medium grade, what I call. And if you look, I mean, it really is a lot nicer stuff, but I'm still going to strip it down into something that's a little thinner than the whole big batch. Now this one here has a nicer staple on it. Again, you've got this really sharp cut end on it and everything. I'm going to fluff up a little bit because it just makes it easier to grab onto. But you could already see the quality of this is so much better than the first one I just spun. There's very few neps and stuff in it. The staple is a lot longer, and it's just nicer stuff. Plus, it's softer. And I think this one here isn't as soft because it has all of those neps in it. And I think also because it being a byproduct and having some of the veg and everything in it, it's just not the nicest stuff in the planet. So I'm going to go ahead and join this on. Okay, I know, horrid join, but we're just going to deal with it. And if you already see that already I'm getting a smoother thread with this. And it's way more consistent. I'm still having to spin really short forward draw, and I'm having to slow down my spinning, but that is so much better than the really cruddy neppy stuff. If I didn't want a good representation of all of the pill bottle cottons in this project, I would throw away the neppy stuff, be perfectly honest with you, because it really is just horrid stuff to spin, and it's very, very frustrating. This one here is, I mean, there are a few neps in it, so I'm still getting a little bit of thicks and thins and everything in it, but it's still so much nicer. If I had to spin the entire project with this, I would do it. I'd be honest with you, if I had to spin the entire project with the neppy stuff, I would say, well, it was a nice try, but, because I don't think my nerves could handle it. So we'll get to the end of this, and I'll apply this back onto itself, and you can see how nice this turned out. I mean, there's still a few neps in it, but nothing like the other one. This one has a very downy cotton feel. It's just really, really nice. I like this stuff. Like I said, there's a few neps in it still, but nothing like the other one. So I'm going to leave a little bit here to put the next piece on, but let's apply that back on itself and see what that looks like. Much nicer, much smoother, really nice, very nice and strong. Yeah, like I said, I really like spinning this stuff. Again, I have to go slow for me, and as I spin the project, I assume I will get faster, but isn't that just so much better? That's just really lovely. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. So here's the third one. It's super, super nice. If you look at it, there is actually a shine to it. It's just some really nice. I think this is some top quality cotton. And if you look at it, there's, I mean, the cut ends really aren't there. It's like they've pulled this apart, so you don't have to contend with that. It's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. I mean, it's just so nice. Look at that. It's so straight and so pretty. And look at the shine on that. That absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do with this here is I'm going to actually pull it apart because it's a very, very long piece. And I'm going to pull it into a smaller piece. And then I actually am going to split it down just a bit because it's still a little thick. And I'm still working at this. So, but I don't have to put this one down as nearly as thin pieces. Because this being a really nice cotton sliver, I could spin it like I spin a wool top. I could actually go back and forth with it and everything like that. It's just nice stuff. It slides apart nicer. It's just really, really gorgeous stuff. So, let's go ahead and spin this a bit. And you can see here the difference between how this is still kind of bunchy and everything, and then this in here is so much more open. Huge difference. And immediately you've got a much smoother, more consistent thread going across there. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Like I said, this is not a whole lot different than spinning a nice wool top, a fine wool. I mean, it still feels cottony and everything, but still, it's just absolutely a dream to spin compared to the other two, especially compared to that first one, man. I tell you, that was horrible, 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 nasty stuff. And since I do want a good blend of all three of the cotton types, I'm going back and forth between spinning a bit of the worst grade, spinning a bit of the middle grade, spinning over the nice stuff, going back to the worst grade and everything. And that way, as I do the yarn, I will have a good blend of the three, and I think it will even out when I get it plied. I was thinking about doing a 3-ply with this Navajo, but then I got to thinking that that would actually put like to like, whereas if I do this as a 2-ply, put it on a center pull ball and ply it from the inside and outside of the ball, different parts will line up, and I think it will even out the yarn a little bit better and give me a bit more of a consistent yarn. Hopefully I won't get neps to neps very often, but I mean obviously that's going to happen, but this is just nice, nice, nice stuff. And I can actually spin the wheel a little faster with this because even though it's got a really short staple, it's just lots longer and a lot smoother and a lot easier to deal with than the other. So I'm going to spin this off real quick, and then I'm going to show you what this looks like plied back on itself. So there, I've got it all spun. So now let's take and ply this back on itself to see how nice this yarn here is. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that is just a beautiful thread. You could almost use that for sewing thread. I mean, it would be a thick sewing thread, but isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so this obviously is the nicest stuff to spin with. I wish I had more of it. But I'm willing to go back and forth between them to come up with a kind of sort of textured yarn. So anyways, so that is the project I have going right now. Like I said, I was just looking at all of this, and for some reason I had been saving these pill bottle cotton in a container, believe it or not, cookies came in it. Isn't that cute? It's a camper. But I saved enough, and a couple of my friends gave me some, and I decided it was time to actually make something with it. So I would like to fill this bobbin up. I don't know if I have enough cotton to completely fill it, but however much, I do hope I have enough to knit a face cloth with it. That's my ultimate goal. And I am going to dye it too, so I just think it'd be fun. I have some fiber reactive dyes left over from when Dyed in the Wool did tie-dye at the very beginning of our business back in 2010, 2011, something like that. I figured I might as well use the dyes and make it colorful and have some fun with that too. So anyways, this is the first part of the project, and I will be bringing you along for the rest of it. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.